This is Nick Brizuela with the Shift Sports and Weather. And in hockey, the Oilers said goodbye to Rexall Place with a victory as they hosted the Canucks for one last game. Edmonton beat Vancouver 6-2 with 2 goals by Patrick Maroon at the former Northlands Coliseum. Vancouver center Bo Harvat says he's disappointed, having won 3 consecutive games against the Ducks, Kings, and Sharks.
You shouldn't take different teams lightly, but at the same time, we won 3 games against the best 3 teams in arguably in almost the league, and it's I don't know if we get up for those games more or we wanted them more. It's just we got to come to play like that every night.
The 2 teams will face each other again, this time in Vancouver, Saturday at 8 p.m. And the Detroit Red Wings are one step closer to a 25th consecutive playoff appearance after beating the Philadelphia Flyers. The Red Wings scored a goal per period for a resounding 3-0. Flyers goalie Steve Mason says his team has to move on from the defeat and concentrate on tonight's game against the Maple Leafs.
I think it's a missed opportunity for us, but in saying that, we got to put it behind us quickly because we're back at it in less than 24 hours.
The Philadelphia Flyers will be back in action today at 5 when they host Toronto. As for the weather, it is mostly sunny and we are currently sitting at 13 degrees. Today's high is predicted to reach 18, and later tonight the low is expected to be positive 2. Tomorrow, Friday, we're expecting a fantastic forecast of 26 degrees, then going back down a little for the weekend, with highs of 17 and 13 for Saturday and Sunday. That is sports and weather. For the Shift News, I am Nick Brizuela. Good afternoon, I'm Nick Brizuela with the Shift News to 4 p.m. Police in Edmonton have officially charged a man for uttering threats to the Legislature Office of Environment Minister Shannon Phillips. The suspect had allegedly threatened to shoot everyone. Police spokeswoman Cheryl Shepard tells us the events of March 31st.
A phone call was made to the Minister of Environment here in Edmonton where some threats were made over the phone. With the assistance of the Camrose Police Service, the Edmonton Police Service arrested a man by the name of Michael Enright.
Enright affirms in an interview that he did in fact phone Phillips' office, but never threatened anyone. He defended himself by saying he told the staffer on the line that if the NDP carries on with its climate change plan, people may take up arms and revolt. Saskatchewan's police arrested a murder suspect who escaped last week when 2 officers tried to escort him to a hospital and were ambushed by 2 armed individuals. Brady Vermette and his girlfriend were detained overnight on the outskirts of Prince Albert. Ministry of Justice spokesman Drew Wilby says he doesn't think the girlfriend was one of the 2 masked armed attackers of last week's ambush.
The RCMP and Prince Albert Police Service are still looking for 2 individuals. I'm not sure if the girlfriend was one of them or not. I believe that's not the case. So that search continues.
Wilby says there might be security protocol changes following the incident. However, he affirms they will not include arming the correctional officers. A lawyer for Gordon Stockless says his client deserves 5 years in jail for sexual abuse crimes on 18 boys over a 3-decade span. Ari Goldkind adds that Stockless, the man at the center of the Maple Leaf Gardens sex abuse scandal, hasn't reoffended since his release from prison early in the 2000s and continued to undergo chemical castration.
The court should also take into account 18 years of unprecedented steps for a pedophile to come back into the community and voluntarily. People should understand that. There's no probation or parole officer dragging him to the doctor. To voluntarily say, I will do everything I can, despite the fact that I'm a pariah and the boogeyman, to make sure I never abuse another child.
The Crown is chasing a 12-year sentence, arguing that Stockless preyed on children for decades, and there is no real obligation on him to keep up the chemical castration. Minneapolis police say a woman was shot 4 times after honking her horn at a driver who had cut her off. The 39-year-old woman was injured on Tuesday. Police say that after she honked, a vehicle slowed next to her and a passenger shot her. Inspector Todd Loyining says local authorities hope to find a suspect soon.
We believe there are people out there that most likely witnessed this incident, and we're asking folks to come forward and help us solve this case.
The woman was hit 3 times in the arm and 1 in the stomach. Belgian prosecutors have released a public plea requesting any information on the man in hat suspect in the Brussels airport suicide bombings. The man was spotted with 2 suicide bombers who died in the March 22nd attacks. Reporter Raf Cassert informs that Belgian prosecutors had tracked the suspect for a period of time, but then lost him.
They have CCTV tracing the man through parts of Brussels, but at some point they totally lose him and he becomes again the vanishing suspect.
As previously mentioned, the suspect wore a distinctive hat as well as a white jacket. And a new trailer for this year's Star Wars Rogue One has premiered on ABC's Good Morning America. The movie opens in theaters everywhere on December 16th. ABC brings us a clip from the trailer, starring Felicity Jones as lead character Jyn Erso.
State your name for the record.
Jyn Erso.
Forgery of imperial documents, possession of stolen property, aggravated assault, resisting arrest.
And Jeanette Brown will need more than one cake to fit the right amount of candles for her milestone birthday. Jeanette Brown is celebrating today her 107th birthday. The Truro, Nova Scotia senior says their secret to a long, happy life is being good to others.
I think that's the secret to anybody's life, to like one another. All over the world.
Amen. Right.
Not just where you're living, but all over the world.
That's right.
That's the secret, I think, to everything.
And she sounds full of life. Brown was married at the young age of 16 and became a mother of 3 before she was just 20 years old. All her children have since passed away. And that's the Shift News to 4:05. After the break, sports and weather with Travis Richardson.